Story 1. So much for so little. Like his father, Isaac had to wait a long time for a son of his own. 60 years, in fact. And then he got two at once. You can imagine the excitement among all the servants in the camp when twins were born to their master. Soon everybody was talking about the two little boys, Esau and Jacob. They especially liked the story of how Jacob, who was born last, grabbed his little brother's heel with his own tiny hand. They took this to be a sign that he would become more important than his brother. And strangely, this is how it turned out. To understand the story properly, you must remember that in those days, the first boy to be born in the family became heir to all his father's property. So, because Esau was born a few minutes before Jacob, this birthright belonged to him. Those few minutes made all the difference between riches and poverty, honor and no honor. The second son just didn't count, any more than the third, fourth, or fifth. Even today, in some countries, the same custom is followed, and both title and estate all go to the eldest son upon his father's death. But while being the firstborn in any family meant a great deal, being Isaac's firstborn meant much more, for this child would inherit not only most of his father's fortune, but also all the blessings promised by God to Abraham. Esau, therefore, was a very fortunate boy. By the lucky chance of being born first, both wealth and honor were his by right. Strangely, however, it didn't mean a thing to him. He wasn't even interested. All he thought about was having a good time out in the fields and woods with his bow and arrows. It meant far more to him to be known as a cunning hunter and a good shot than as the firstborn son of Isaac. Jacob was different. He didn't like hunting and preferred to stay around the house, where his mother told him stories of his father and grandfather and of the promises God had made to them. He especially liked the story about what happened at his birth, when the Lord had said, "The elder shall serve the younger." He didn't understand what this meant at first, but as he thought about it, he began to wonder how he could get the birthright away from his brother. Because he stayed home more than Esau, his mother came to love him best. And what with one thing and another, the two boys gradually drew apart. This was a great pity, for surely twins were meant to love each other in a special way all through life. How much better it would have been for both of them had they played and worked together, with Jacob sharing the fun in the woods and Esau staying home a bit more to help around the house and enjoy his mother's stories. But it didn't work out that way. Soon both boys were treating each other like strangers. One day Esau came home from the fields feeling very hungry. As he strode toward the house, there was nothing he wanted in all the world so much as something to eat. And whom should he see but Jacob getting the dinner ready? Mother's boy doing the cooking now, he may have thought, but he didn't say it. He wanted food too badly. "What have you got there?" I can hear him saying. "Lentils," replies Jacob, continuing to stir the pot. "Give me some," says Esau. "I'm nearly fainting." But Jacob is in a mean frame of mind. Seeing his brother desperately hungry, he thinks this may be his chance to get the birthright away from him. So he refuses to give Esau any food unless he promises to trade with him. "Trade?" Esau asked in surprise. "Trade what?" "How about selling me the birthright for a nice big bowl of lentils?" "It's a deal," said Esau carelessly, grabbing for the bowl with never a thought of the consequences of what he had said. So that Esau could never get out of the bargain, Jacob says to him, "Swear to me this day." And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Afterward, of course, Esau realized what he had done and how much he had given away for one dish of lentils. All his father's riches, the privilege of being head of the house after his father's death, the honor of being the one through whom the promises of God would be fulfilled, through whom Jesus, the Messiah, at last should come. All this yet valued at the few cents, the price of one morsel of meat. So much for so little. He was very sad about it and wept a great deal, begging Jacob to go back on the deal and leave things as they were before. But Jacob refused. As the Bible says, Esau despised his birthright, made light of something of great spiritual importance, and now he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. All of us, you and I and everybody, have to be careful not to make the same mistake, for we too have a birthright. We may be heirs of God and joint heirs of Christ, if we want to be. All the treasures of heaven will be ours if we are faithful to God and never deny Him. Indeed, He has said that He will gladly let us live forever with Him, if only we will love Him truly all our days. So much has He promised us. Let us make sure we never exchange these precious blessings for some little passing pleasure. Our birthright is too rich a treasure to sell for a mess of pottage.